The MAGA movement is committing suicide in front of our very eyes.
We just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm pissed tonight, frankly.
For the know-it-all Republican consultants, you don't know how to run races in Georgia. All you know how to do is lose.
And we're going to keep seeing the same results if we don't do something different.
I do not want my vote canceled.
This really chaps my hide.
The road to mind-numbing authoritarian autocracy is very much shorter than we think.
I urge each and every one of you not to certify this election.
Nobody I know voted for Katie Hobbs and the baby-killing Democrats that we don't want to see happen.
It was a cheat.
This is not a crystal clear election, as you say.
Interference in an election in the United States of America, Mr. Gates, is a capital offense. It's considered treason, punishable by the death penalty.
Because this whole thing was a sham. You're violating the Constitution. You're violating our rights.
They've taken over Mexico, and sadly, they've taken over many politicians in America.
But you will be judged. Would you rather stand with God, be judged by the world, or stand with the world and be judged by God?
All the suffering in our state and country is a direct result of the corruption and stealing of our elections.
New Hampshire's gone Democrat. Pennsylvania doesn't look great. This thing could come down to Georgia, and we now got to wait for out west.
We're now looking at a possibility of keeping either a 50-50 Senate or maybe just barely missing or losing a seat.
Here it is. Fox News can project that Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman will win the Pennsylvania Senate race over Dr. Mehmet Oz.
This is a very, very significant outcome, and that it comes down to Pennsylvania, I think, is a stunning outcome.
It is stunning.
So far, it's a shift to the Republicans, but not a wave. Particularly the Trump candidates are struggling.
If there's a national wave building for the Republicans, it hasn't quite materialized yet.
The Republican Party needs to do a really deep introspection look in the mirror right now, because this is an absolute disaster.
If you add up the number of seats in which Republicans are now leading in the rest of the country that have not yet been called by somebody, it gets you to about 222, which is exactly what the Democrats have today.
So
we're likely
four-seat majority.
A five-seat majority.
Five-seat majority.
Yeah, so
That is a searing indictment of the Republican Party. That is a searing indictment of the message that we have been sending to the voters.
What happened to the red wave, Congresswoman? We thought this morning we'd be talking about how clearly the Republicans had the majority in the House.
I can't believe John Fetterman won. I can't believe it. I'm shocked there was no red wave.
How is this not a red wave?
The glowing predictions of a big red wave were frankly a little foolish.
And right now the Associated Press has just given the check mark to Raphael Warnock. He's going back to the U.S. Senate as the winner of this runoff against Herschel Walker.
But we don't change anything. We have the same people in place in leadership, same people in place apparently at the RNC. Perhaps that's not changing. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm pissed tonight, frankly. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really offensive.
I'm mad.
For Republican voters.
We need to compete for ballots. If we don't bank ballots early, we're going to keep losing.
But we didn't.
But we didn't.
But we didn't do it in 2020 because everyone said don't vote early because that's corrupt.
Not everyone.
Well,
Yes,
a lot of people did at the very top of the Republican Party.
Yes,
you didn't.
People did.
I'd like to say this is surprising, but it's not. This is what we expected, and look, the Senate Democrats, I would argue, did a much better job.
And let's be blunt, this was a disaster in Georgia.
This is for Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and the rest of the Republican senators. You guys are the reasons why we are losing Republican races all over the country. Let me inform you on behalf of Georgia, this is your third strike and you're out.
Right? This is a Senate seat we should have won.
And we are very angry today. We're extremely angry today. Georgia is not a blue state. We're not a purple state. We're a red state.
We've got to show the American public that we have a reason. There's a reason to vote for us, and we have to tell them why they vote for us.
We are basically for nothing, and we complain about it along the way, and then say, well, maybe we'll tell you after we're
elected.
We have great candidates. You look at the quality of these people. I mean, you were with Herschel Walker the other day. You look at Dr. Oz, look at J.D. Vance, look at Blake Master. These are smart guys working hard. All the Democrats can do now with Herschel Walker is throw a smear campaign against him. They can't talk about any of the issues.
We've got to show the American public that we have a reason. There's a reason to vote for us.
80% of those people that came to vote their time voted Republican and voted for America First candidates because they want to protect this country and the state. And to say that the results are the way they are, I would just please, I beg of you.
So this is a terrible situation where she didn't get to vote for anything but federal, nothing about the state.
So if you think that the public should believe the false narrative of well-run, fair, transparent elections and outcomes, you're sorely mistaken. So Chairman Bill Gates and Recorder Richer, you both have lost all credibility and any shred of integrity to conduct free, fair,
we're no outbursts,
free,
please.
fair, and transparent elections here in Maricopa County.
We can't accept these results. This is an illegitimate election. It is your job to provide the remedy.
Was done, and then here we have Fox News, right? 2022, they call Katie Hobbs before Carrie Lake, even before the election took place. But we're supposed to believe that we have free and fair elections here.
This is a farce. This election, absolutely, along with the 2020, is no longer certifiable. This needs to be redone. We need ballots that are paper.
We're like the forces at Dunkirk. We're up against the English Channel.
Am I here to accuse you of stealing the vote? Heavens no, for that would make me a terrorist, wouldn't it? Now ask Mark Zuckerberg that question: which is more valuable, your money or your vote or your country or this world or the corruption that is taking over every single county in this nation?